Welcome, dear friend, to this quiet space we share. So, let's begin with a question. A question that might be sitting kind of unanswered in the back of your mind. It's a question that often comes with this little whisper of guilt, maybe a sigh of resignation. Why aren't you meditating? The wisdom I want to share with you today really explores this. Yeah. It begins with this idea: in the hustle and bustle of modern life, we often find ourselves caught in an endless cycle of activities. We might justify it by citing a lack of time or an unsuitable mood, but the truth runs far deeper. The truth is, it's not physical laziness that hinders us from meditating, but the laziness of consciousness. Just let that phrase sink in for a moment. The laziness of consciousness. I mean, it is not that your body is tired from the day's work. No, it is that your soul, your deepest awareness, is hesitant. It resists the profound simplicity of stillness. I mean, think of the immense energy we use every single day, running errands, meeting deadlines, navigating those difficult conversations. Wow, those things are often far more demanding than the gentle act of just sitting in silence for a few minutes. And there's this beautiful irony here. It suggests that the most active people in the external world are often the most passive on a spiritual level. Right. Their constant motion becomes a shield. It's a beautifully constructed fortress of noise, really, to avoid the silence where they might finally have to meet themselves. But here is a really compassionate thought for all of us. Reassuringly, meditation isn't for everyone in the stereotypical sense. You're kindly reminded that if sitting cross-legged in perfect silence feels like this battle you just cannot win, please do not despair. Yeah, maybe your meditation is found in the melody of a song that stills your mind. Or maybe it's a quiet walk in nature where your thoughts can finally settle like leaves on the forest floor. See, the goal is not to force some rigid method upon yourself. It's to find the one that resonates with your soul's unique and sacred rhythm. The whole journey is about finding your own path to clarity. So, why does our consciousness resist this clarity so strongly? Well, there's a profound explanation offered. The laziness of consciousness is often linked to brain chaos and ego dominance. When the brain is submerged in a sea of conflicting thoughts and confused emotions, it becomes difficult to direct consciousness inward. The ego, in its constant desire for control, resists any practice that threatens its authority. This is such a vital truth to understand. Imagine your mind is like a stormy sea, and your ego is the frantic captain, believing it has to wrestle and control every single wave. Well, meditation is the radical act of letting go of the helm. It's allowing the storm to pass, of realizing you are not the storm, but you're the vast, calm, silent ocean beneath it all. The ego fears this stillness. Oh, it fears losing its job as the commander. And so it creates distractions. It whispers, "Oh, this is boring," or "This is a waste of time," all in this desperate attempt to maintain its grip. So why do we surrender to this inner resistance? The text suggests 4 really powerful reasons. First, an ignorance of the true benefits. We might think meditation is just a quick, momentary fix for stress, not realizing it is a lifelong path to a deep, unshakable peace that's already inside us. The second reason is the fear of confronting the self. In the silence, our regrets, our sorrows, our inner critic, what the text calls the self-reproaching soul, all of it comes to the surface. And it often feels easier to just stay busy than to face these really tender parts of ourselves. Then there's the ego resistance we just talked about. And fourth, the initial feelings of boredom and discomfort. And this is the ego's first line of defense. If it can make you feel restless and frustrated in those first few moments, you'll probably give up. You'll never discover the profound peace that lies just beyond that initial barrier. But please, know this. State is not your destiny. The text talks about repentance and returning to the right path. And this is not about shame or guilt. No, the original meaning of repentance is simply to turn back. It's that beautiful, conscious moment you recognize this inner inertia and you make a gentle choice to change your course, to turn your attention from the outer world to the inner landscape. So, how do we begin? We can start by meditating on life's details. You don't need to begin with a formal 30-minute session. No, your meditation can be the simple, sacred act of just noticing the warmth of a cup in your hands, or the feeling of water as you wash the dishes. You see? By paying exquisite attention to these small, ordinary moments, you start to train your consciousness to be present. You discover the universe in a grain of sand, and you discover yourself in the details of your own life. The text then gives us this gentle, practical guide for breaking the cycle of laziness. The steps are offered with such kindness. First, encouragingly, start gradually. Just 3 minutes. Surely we can all give ourselves the gift of 3 minutes. Choose a suitable time and a quiet environment. Create a little sanctuary for yourself, a space that signals it's time to come home to yourself. Use aids if you need them. It's suggested you could hold a keychain in your hand, so if you doze off, it falls and gently wakes you. You see, this isn't a sign of failure. It's just a compassionate little trick to help yourself stay present. Focus on something simple. A spot on the wall, a flickering candle flame, the sound of your own breath, just rising and falling. And most importantly, don't resist thoughts. This is the secret. Yeah, do not fight with your mind. Let the thoughts come and go like clouds passing in the vast sky of your awareness. Just notice them without judgment and gently return your focus again and again. And finally, be patient and persistent. This is a journey, not a race. Right. Progress is measured in moments of deepening peace, not in hours logged on a cushion. Beyond this laziness, there is another great obstacle, the fear of the unknown. Meditation leads us into uncharted territory of our own consciousness. But we're encouraged to remember that this unknown isn't something to be feared. It may be full of spiritual treasures and lights waiting to be discovered. There's also a condition for this journey, a clear conscience and self-harmony. If our hearts are heavy with unresolved hurts or guilt, the silence of meditation will only amplify that inner conflict. So the path to meditation is also a path of self-forgiveness. It's about making peace with our past and with who we are today. This is how we can finally face the voice of the self-reproaching soul. And this voice will rise. Yeah, it will criticize and judge. Our task is not to silence it, but to listen with boundless compassion, as you would listen to a wounded friend. It's all part of the purification process. The text then talks about a conflict between our senses. Our external senses play tricks on us, constantly pulling our attention outward. Meanwhile, our internal senses, insight and intuition, are almost non-existent in our busy lives. Meditation, then, is the practice of gently dimming the volume of the outer world so that we can finally hear the soft, wise whisper of our inner world. This leads us to a beautiful paradox. Non-action is the hardest kind of action. In our world, we are taught to constantly do, but meditation teaches us the profound art of being.
Yeah, with an open heart and an inquiring mind. Let us make meditation a constant loving companion on our path. Now, as we close our time together, here's a question I would like to leave with you. A question to carry into your day. What is the one small, simple act of attention you can commit to today to gently begin your own journey inward?